Right, let's just jump straight into this explainer because today we're tackling something literally mind-bending. We're going to look at the very fabric of reality itself. And the coolest part, we're coming at it from two completely opposite ends of human history. On one hand, we've got ancient spiritual wisdom, and on the other, the absolute bleeding edge of modern quantum physics. And, spoiler alert, they are telling us the exact same story. Just take a look at this quote from Werner Heisenberg. I mean, this guy is one of the founding fathers of quantum mechanics, and he openly admits that Eastern philosophy gave him a massive framework for understanding the totally bizarre nature of the quantum world. It absolutely bridges the gap between these two worlds, showing us that cutting-edge science and ancient wisdom, yeah, they've been pointing to the exact same truth all along. Section 1. Two paths to one truth. The ascetic and the physicist. Let's explore how a 2,500-year-old ascetic, sitting quietly under a tree, and some brilliant 20th century scientists in high-tech labs both managed to decode the exact same universe. It's kind of crazy how perfectly these concepts mirror each other. On one side, you have the ancient Buddhist concept of dependent origination. Basically, this means nothing, and I mean nothing, exists entirely on its own. Everything pops into existence purely in relation to other things. And on the flip side, quantum entanglement. In modern physics, once particles interact, they get entangled. You literally cannot describe one particle's state without the other, even if they're thrown light years apart. It's wild. The ancient spiritual teaching perfectly matches modern scientific reality. That actually brings us right to Section 2, the observer and the void, how consciousness shapes reality. This is a foundational, frankly unbelievable idea in both fields, that the simple act of observation literally shapes the physical universe around us. Take the observer effect in physics. The crucial, absolutely reality-breaking point here is that before we measure a particle, it doesn't even have a fixed location. It exists as this hazy wave of multiple possibilities. But the very second we observe it, that wave collapses into a single, fixed reality. It's kind of like checking your bank balance and realizing that the sheer act of looking at the screen actually changes how much money you have. Our consciousness literally forces reality to make a choice. And that perfectly sets up our next parallel. You might have heard of the Buddhist teaching of emptiness, right? Well, it's actually not some dark, depressing void. It's a state that lacks independent existence, sure, but it is entirely full of potential. Now, look at the quantum vacuum in physics. Science tells us that a true vacuum isn't empty at all, not even close. It's this dynamic, buzzing state of lowest energy, just packed with virtual particles constantly popping in and out of existence. Basically, emptiness equals infinite potential. Section 3. The illusion of the self. You are the universe. Let's take all this and figure out what it means for who we really are. Because if everything is just a web of relationships, well, what happens to you and me? There's this famous ancient analogy of the chariot or cart that totally nails this. If you break a cart down, you've got wheels, an axle, some wood. You stick them together in a specific way, and we slap the label cart on it for convenience. But take those specific relationships away, and the cart just disappears. There's no magical, independent cartness floating around. And actually, modern physics says the exact same thing about us. Our bodies are basically just atoms and empty space, temporarily glued together by energetic relationships. This deep interconnection is everywhere in ancient teachings. Have you ever heard of Indra's net? It's described as this infinite cosmic web of jewels, where every single jewel reflects every other jewel in the entire universe. Or think of a single rafter in a house. It only actually means something within the structure of the whole building. And this is where it gets really profound for us. As we go through life, experiencing things and understanding these deep connections, our soul's mass, our inner spiritual weight and wisdom, grows. We were literally made of stardust, and the ultimate goal is for our inner mass to expand and mirror the sheer depth of the cosmos. We aren't just living inside the universe, we are the universe. Section 4. Just a brain state, confronting the modern skeptic. Now, hold on. Before we get completely lost in the cosmos here, we really need to tackle a critical question from modern skeptics. Is all this profound enlightenment stuff just a biological trick of the brain? Somebody actually posted this super fascinating challenge on a Reddit thread recently. They were highly skeptical, asking if spiritual awakening is just a perceptual filter. Like, are we just rewiring our biological hard drive and suppressing certain neural networks? Or are we actually tapping into a genuine fundamental truth of the universe? Honestly, it's a completely fair question. But here's the philosophical counter-argument, perfectly summed up by another user. Consciousness itself is the primary foundation of reality. The brain, that's just the physical receiver. Think about it. Reducing spiritual awakening to mere brain chemistry is basically like staring at shadows on the wall in Plato's cave and convincing yourself those shadows are the entire world. The real source of the light is way beyond what a physical brain scanner can pick up. And to put that into perspective with some hard astrophysical data, look at this. Everything we can actually physically measure in the whole universe, stars, planets, human brains, MRI scanners, all of it makes up only 5% of reality. Just 5%. That leaves a staggering 95% of the universe as dark matter and dark energy. It's an entirely invisible, unmeasured mystery. So, for us to claim we can measure the absolute entirety of consciousness using our little 5% tools, we're definitely missing the bigger picture. Section 5, the ethics of interconnection, right action in a quantum world. So, if we really are this deeply interconnected, and if our consciousness literally shapes reality, the big question is, how the heck should we be living, acting, and speaking every single day? Well, the ancient wisdom of the Eightfold Path gives us a really structured, practical framework for this. It demands that our high-level understanding of the universe actually translates into real, compassionate daily actions. It all starts with right view, truly getting how interdependent we are. That naturally sparks right intention, an unselfish desire to grow, which then spills right out into your everyday life as right speech and right action. You can't just sit around thinking about the universe. You have to act ethically within it. Why? Because hurting someone else literally means you're harming a part of yourself. And hey, if you're the kind of person who needs physical proof of this connection, check out this number, 3 meters. Modern science has actually shown that the human heart generates an electromagnetic field that is 60 times stronger than the brain's, and it radiates up to 3 meters outward from your body. So when you cultivate compassion, you aren't just having a nice thought. You are literally physically touching the energy fields of the people around you. No way, right? Section 6. Awakening in everyday life, the next level of human evolution. Okay, so how do we take all this mind-bending quantum science and ancient philosophy and actually use it? How do we practice this stuff in the real world to reach that next level of our own personal evolution? Well, here is your practical roadmap. First up, you practice what's called Yoniso Manasikara. Basically, that's just a systematic, critical reflection on how interconnected we all are. Second, you have to cultivate compassion. As the ancient philosopher Nagarjuna said, compassion is the foundational mother of wisdom. Third, you embrace the ideal of Hungig Ingen, which is this beautiful dedication to broadly benefiting the human world in your everyday life. It's not just about you leveling up, it's about elevating everybody else around you. And finally, by practicing all this daily, through all the messy experiences of life, you build Negom, or a really deep inner strength. You learn to take the heavy, painful stuff we all go through and transform it into solid, completely unshakable wisdom. Which leads us right to this beautiful idea for your next level of evolution, emptying myself to beneficially fill the world. That's the ultimate destination right there. True realization of your quantum nature isn't just about sitting on a mountain, meditating in total isolation. It is actively using that cultivated inner strength and your refined soul to bring actual light and practical benefit to the rest of the interconnected web we're all a part of. Ultimately, we really need to make a massive shift in our mindset. We've got to stop thinking of ourselves as isolated observers trapped inside some cold, separate, mechanical universe. The reality is, you are absolutely not separate from reality. You are the universe, and you are actively experiencing yourself right now through your own conscious ethical choices. So, I want to leave you with this final, really provocative thought to chew on. If it's true that your consciousness, your daily actions, and your genuine compassion literally collapse the quantum wave of infinite possibility into hard reality, what kind of universe are you going to choose to create today?